Today we're going to read the next chapter in Save Me a Seat by Sarah Weeks. This is chapter 2 and it's entitled Joe. So we're going to meet a new character. Chapter 2, Joe. My name is Joe, but that's not what most people call me. Not at Einstein anyway. I've never been a big fan of school except for lunches. Eating is one of the things I'm really good at. I've always been tall for my age, but lately I've been growing so fast my clothes don't fit anymore. Even the ones we bought a few weeks ago. I'm always hungry. I can relate to Joe. A lot of the kids wouldn't be caught dead eating school lunch. They call it mystery meat and slop. But I don't mind. Every week it shows up in the same order. Chicken fingers, hamburgers, chili, macaroni and cheese, pizza. By the way, it's not a coincidence that Tuesday is Burger Day and Wednesday is Chili Day, because at Einstein, hamburgers get recycled. It's not as bad as it sounds. The leftover burgers from Tuesday get dumped into a big pot with beans and some other junk, and presto changeo! On Wednesday, you've got chili. Everybody knows I don't talk much at school. My best friends, Evan and Ethan, used to call me Blabbermouth as a joke. But I guess I'm not going to be hearing that much now since they both moved away over the summer. To be honest, they were a little weird, but I'm going to miss them anyways. Evan, Ethan, and I ate lunch together every day last year, and they had to go to the resource room for extra help, same as me. Not that we had the same problems. For one thing, they were both super hyper, and I'm not. This year, I'll have to go by myself to see Miss Frost. And I'm not sure who I'm going to eat lunch with. Probably no one. People think you're unfriendly if you don't talk to them, but they don't understand that it's a problem for me and that it's so noisy in the cafeteria. My brain and noise don't get along. Last year, I had Mr. Barnes for my teacher. Mr. Barnes is epic. He can bounce a hacky sack off his knee 100 times without messing up. I had never heard of a hacky sack until Mr. Barnes brought his to school. It was pink, which Dylan Sam Ream thought was hilarious. He said something mean behind Mr. Barnes's back, and all the girls laughed. Sometimes I wonder what's wrong with girls. But then I remember I already know what's wrong with girls. Everything. Mr. Barnes is African American. He shaves his head and wears bow ties, real ones you have to tie yourself. He must have talked to Mrs. Frost about me because he never asked me to read aloud in front of the class or come up to the board to do math problems. He understood those things are hard for kids like me. Some people don't mind having everybody look at them. Dylan Sam Ream, for instance, he wears his pants pulled down low with his underwear sticking out of the top. He wants people to see it. His boxers have dollar signs on them or dice or lobsters, and he has special ones for holidays with candy corn or Christmas trees or red hearts for Valentine's Day. Dylan is famous for his boxers, but his real claim to fame is his tongue, which is long and pointy like a devil's. When he sticks it out, it makes the girls scream. He thinks he's the smartest kid at Einstein, and he might be right. He's definitely the meanest. We're learning about Sam Ream. Sometimes I wonder what it would be like to be Dylan Sam Ream, but that is something I'll never know. Mr. Barnes was the first teacher I ever had who liked me. Miss Frost likes me, but she likes everybody, so it doesn't count. On a final report card, Mr. Barnes wrote that I was a valuable member of the community. Oh, my mom was so proud, she stuck it on the refrigerator with a magnet. It's still there. That's very sweet. Today is the first day of school, and Mr. Barnes is the first person I run into when I get there. He's wearing a red bow tie with the little blue whales on it. I'm pretty sure it's new, or at least I've never seen it before. Last year, Mr. Barnes had 17 different bow ties that he always wore in the same order. Very observant. Starting with the green one with the white diamonds and ending with the orange and purple striped one. Mr. Barnes' bow tie were one of my favorite sequences. Oh, so he likes sequences in math, huh? Yo, Joe, he says, how does it feel to be a fifth grader? Good, I tell him, at least so far. Maybe this year will be different, I think. Maybe Dylan Sam Marine won't be in my class. But when I get to room 506, 506, there he is, standing over by the window with his underwear hanging out, polka dots. Lucy Mulligan and a bunch of her annoying girlfriends are standing around him chanting, "Do it, do it, do it." They want him to stick out his tongue, but Dylan won't. "Come on, Sam Ream, let's give them what they want," Tom Dinkins shouts before sticking out his own tongue and waggling it at the girls. Tom Dinkins is a Dylan Sam Ream wannabe. The girls don't care about him. "I warn you," Dylan tells the fan club. "I think I grew over the summer." Lucy and her friends start jumping up and down. "Ew!" they were screaming. One thing I will say about Dylan Sam Ream, he really knows how to play a crowd. All the screaming starts to get to me. So I do what the in 2-3 and out 2-3 breathings that Miss Frost taught me. If that doesn't work, I'll have to use my earplugs. I always keep a pair in my pocket, just in case. They come in different colors, but I like the tan one best because they don't show as much. They're made of some squishy foam rubber, and when I wear them, I can still hear people talking, only it's softer, like when you're underwater or have a pillow over your head. I'm allowed to wear earplugs at school whenever I want, but mostly I use them in the cafeteria or on the playground and in the gym. "Settle down and take your seats," announces Mrs. Beam, my new teacher. This is her first year teaching at Einstein, and she looks a lot younger than any of the other teachers I've had. She's shaped kind of funny, wider at the bottom than on the top. And she's shorter than me, which is weird considering that she's my teacher. She seems nervous, and there's something freaky about her eyebrows. At Einstein, kids have to sit in alphabetical order. Every year since kindergarten, my seat has been right behind Dylan's. I know the back of his head by heart. Mrs. Bean has made some cards for us and put them on the desk. But when I go to take my seat behind Dylan, somebody's already sitting in it. He's a shrimpy-looking kid with thick glasses and greased-down black hair parted on the side. I've never seen him before, and I'm not sure where he's from. His skin is darker than mine, but not as dark as Dylan's or Caleb Burrell's. When I look at the card sitting on his desk, I see his name is about a mile long and full of Y's and A's. He seems kind of nervous, too. He keeps rubbing his nose and looking down at his hands, which are folded on his lap like he's in church or something. His shirt is so white it hurts my eyes to look at it, and he's got it tucked in and buttoned all the way up to the top. When Mrs. Beam asks him to tell the class about himself, he stands up like he's in the army and calls her ma'am, which is about the only word he says that you can actually understand. Everybody starts laughing. Oh. And for a minute I think, hey, maybe 5th grade isn't going to be so bad after all. Maybe Dylan Sam Ream will decide to pick on this new kid with the long name and the funny accent instead of me. I guess he's desperate to get out of Dylan Sam Ream, out of his view. Well, we're learning about Dylan Sam Ream in this chapter. So, a new character. He's going to be as important as Ravi, and we'll see how it develops between the three main characters. It's getting interesting. Until next time.